Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Internet, and welcome. And we are doing something very exciting today because we're on StreamYard, and StreamYard has announced a new feature, which now there's two reasons why I quite like this feature. One of them, like 20% of the reason I like it is that I think it's actually quite good. The other 80% is that it actually has the sensible name of Mars, because it is multiple aspect ratio streaming. Which means that if you're watching this on your phone vertically, like a weird person who has one of their eyes above the other in their head, so they have sort of portrait format binocular vision, and you're on YouTube, you should be seeing us stacked one above the other, like some sort of infernal bunk bed. And if you're watching us on a proper computer, like a normal person, we'll be side by side like we normally are. But I'm just going to click all the buttons because they're one of those features that the lovely thing about streaming platforms, it's all right, I'll let you to get a word in edgeways in a minute, is that it's impossible to test any of the new features until you actually have multiple people on a live stream. So I'm going to, what does that button do? Oh, look at that.
It lets people see the full name. In that layout, you can see that my tagline is Consumptive Drag Queen Edition today, which you can't in regular, all three of us side by side. So that's a bonus for this layout.
That's why you've got the subtitle underneath it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one who wants Eli Consumptive Drag Queen Edition Nuisance Disaster all to appear in one little strapline. I've just got my own name there twice with different top-level domains tacked on the end of it. Anyway, hello, welcome to Tech Bugs and Rock and Roll, a semi-weekly, an occasionally weekly live-streamed podcast video thing that aspires to be a weekly streamed video podcast about technology and bugs and development culture and conferences and music and films and geek culture and all those kinds of things.
Yes.
I'm in my house.
Well, I think we're both in our houses as well.
Yeah. Wow. Everybody's in houses and things. Because I haven't been in my house. I think this is the first Thursday I've been in my house for about 2 months. I have been traveling from one event to the next. I worked out at one point that I was having to plan my laundry a month in advance because I wasn't at home for long enough to wash and dry the things that were in the suitcase. So I had to basically figure out what I was going to be taking with me 4 trips hence, so I could work backwards, so that I knew that those clothes would be hanging up drying while I was on trip number 3, which meant that I needed to make sure those ones went with me on trip. It got very complicated. Yes. Yes.
It's the kind of thing I enjoy as an intellectual challenge, like, resource management games and all of that. But when it's my actual life, it's not happening.
It is.
I'm simply buying clothes when I get to wherever I'm going.
I've often been bemused at games like SimCity and Minecraft, because it's like, who looked at town planning and went, that looks like a fun activity to do for no money in your spare time. You go into
I know this. It was Will Wright.
Hang on, I need to adjust my f-stop. I'm unhappy. There we go. There we go. That's nice.
Isn't that an organ thing?
No, is it? What?
It might be. I've been getting reels recommended to me on Instagram of people playing the Interstellar theme, or like one specific organist playing the Interstellar theme at the Royal Albert Hall, as part of a big concert, which is great because I love it.
Cool.
Yes, I'm specifically in my bedroom recovering from the cold that some of us picked up at Uradev. I think Dylan, did you say you had a little bit of it, but maybe not as bad as me?
So I basically did that thing of like, I could not go to Uradev because on the day I had to get up and go to the airport, I felt rough as a badger's ass. But it was like by the time we get to the bit that I actually need to do, I'll probably be fine, and it'll suck to be sat at home going, I should be in Sweden right now, and I'm not, and I could be. And yes, the conference lurgy season is always fun and games because of it's not like, when you have a day job and you're like, I don't feel well today, so I'm not going to work today. It's like, I don't feel well today, so I'm not going to go to work on Friday. And it's like, well, you'll probably be all right on Friday, but if you don't get on the aeroplane today, none of it's going to happen. So,
whereas I actually was sufficiently unwell I didn't go to Uradev last week, but not sufficiently unwell that I didn't bloody work.
Yeah.
So.
Nah, bad priorities.
Yeah.
Terrible priorities.
Yeah.
I'm not mixing any backing tracks for Vilnius until I know who's actually showed up. Yeah. But it's been an entertaining few months. And
Uradev was surprisingly good. I was so ready for it to be an absolute train wreck. And then after the point where we had 2 of our band members not able to be there at fairly short notice, past that point, it was kind of all okay.
My overwhelming impression of Uradev is it is a conference that has a formula that it follows absolutely rigidly, and God have mercy on you if you ask them to do anything differently. But as long as you're happy with that, they do a very, very good job with it. There's a little, I have a sort of draft progress thing that I've been bouncing around for a while, which is how to run like the best conference ever, which is all the little, when you do this a lot, it's all the little details you notice. Like, so one thing I noticed at Uradev is people queue for food. Like they have set meal times when lunch and on the party evening they serve dinner as well. And it's, I'm one of these people who, like, I had to queue for lunch at school, for school lunches, and swore I am never standing in a fucking queue to get a meal ever again in my adult life. I can do better than that. And so when you see like 100 people all standing there for 20 minutes because they haven't opened the food service yet, I'm like, I guess it's fine, but no, don't make me. Which I know is just me being precious, but I've earned the right. I'm allowed to be precious once in a while.
I think that NDC do this really well with Oslo, and they did it this time for DevFest as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
All day food stalls. You're a grown up, eat when you want.
Yes.
And they're small portions, so you can kind of just graze.
No, I am such a fan of the whole, I am a little bit hungry now, so I will get a little bit of food now, instead of I'm a little bit hungry now, I will wait for 2 hours until I am feral, and then join 500 people who are also feral, who are all trying to eat a meal in 45 minutes and get to the next session they want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I also know from the other side of it how horribly inflexible a lot of venues are when it comes to food and catering, and they're like, no, you will use our caterers, and they only work between noon and 2 p.m. on pain of death. So that is what you do, or you find another venue, and there's not a whole lot of them. So
yeah,
I mean, Uradev last year was particularly weird because it was fully vegan. and so there weren't huge queues for the lunch. There was a huge queue of people snaking down to the McDonald's outside the nearby station.
Yeah.
Of people going to get meat.
Actually, it was all. I think the food there was all vegan again this year, but it was good. Like the quality was excellent.
It was
there
a bit hit and
was
miss last
there
year.
was a day of what are we eating today? We're like casserole. What casserole? We don't know. But,
mystery protein.
Yes,
mystery protein.
I described it to somebody as it's like the set caterers on Star Trek. We're like, we need to show a Klingon banquet on screen, and we don't know if any of the actors is vegan. Just make it look like sort of that. But no, it was good fun, and it was a really fun show. It was
we did
great setup, good stage, good screen. And I think that the people that we had that thing that happens to us a lot, which is they're like, oh, well, people don't normally stay for the party. And what you want to ask is it because the party is normally lame? But
yeah,
you know, it's like, what have you done in the past to give people a reason to stick around? And
when they could be like, because they're all local, they could be at home, in their own home, doing whatever they normally do.
And I think it's something that is very easily overlooked by those kinds of events. Is you need to be. It's people have been here all day. It's sort of 7 o'clock at night, and they're starting to think about I could go home, or I could go back to my hotel, or I could go and get some dinner. And you need to not kind of just expect them to hang around in case anything happens. You need to make something happen front and center that makes them go, I do not want to miss this.
Yeah,
and you know,
with that.
And we're one of the many variants of that. The one that the other one I've seen done incredibly well is Todd Gardner's "Who Wants to Be a JavaScript Heir."
Yes, I love that.
Which is just it has the format of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's got the visuals, it's got the music, it's got the everything, and
high production values and audience participation as well.
Yep. And swag and prizes, and people will stick around because they're like, oh, I might know JavaScript well enough to win a Bluetooth headset or some Lego or something. And,
but also no.
And there is. It always strikes me as kind of funny. Like you look around the room, you're like, I can have a good guess at what most of you earn, and I'm sure if you really wanted a Lego set, you could just go and buy it. But I think it's that it's the winning. Winning is nice.
It is.
And when you turn up home with a Lego set and you can go, no, I won it in a competition, then that's okay.
Yeah.
I made it out of the airport without buying any Lego. I wouldn't actually normally buy it for myself, but I was thinking about some Duplo for a friend of mine who's 2.5. But I was so over encumbered with carry-on stuff because I take my violin as carry-on.
Yes.
That I made it out without.
I was the same. I had so much luggage coming back through Copenhagen that I was just like, no.
If I want this, I can get it online.
So, yes. I want to talk about free software again.
Does talk about free software. I'm knitting. All is right with the world.
Well, actually, I specifically want to talk because I just put a new YouTube video up, which is 100% discount the same as something being free? Which is I saw no there, and it gets into what kind of freedom are we talking about, and why does
we get back to your thesis statement if you're free as in weekends?
Yes. Right? And no, it's been AutoMapper and Mediator and all mass transit and all kinds of things have been switching their licenses. Surly says, is it because you put a YouTube video up about free software? Yes, it is. And Surly was the first to like that on you. Thank you for your service, Surly Dev. And but yeah, and so what sort of happened is the folks at Particular who make and Service Bus have, because they did this a long time ago, like that switched from being free as in beer to free as in you can get the source code, but you have to pay us if you want to use it a long time ago. I think 2010 is when they made the switch. But they've been watching what's going on with a lot of the stuff, and they announced basically a discount scheme. So when Jimmy Bogard made AutoMapper free, it's basically like, look, you have to pay money if you have more than $5 million. But if you've got less than $5 million, I really don't care. and just sort of drew a line in the sand. And it's like, look, I'm not interested in making a one-person shop jump through hoops to be able to pay for a license. And so a bunch of people, Chris Patterson, Mass Transit's done something kind of similar. And so you get to this interesting situation where for a lot of smaller companies and open source projects and things, it's like, it's not free as in free beer, it's free as in 100% discounted beer, with the caveat that if you stop being small, you start paying for it, which I actually think is kind of neat. I think it's a neat idea. And I remember, when I was at Spotlight years ago and we were using Service Stack, and they just changed the licensing. They're like, next version's going to be $1,000 per developer per year. And we're like, oh, well, that's like $6,000 that came out of nowhere that we didn't know we might have to pay soon. And yeah, I'm really interested in the perspectives from the wider community about what sort of where should the discount thresholds be set, and is $1 million or $5 million the right amount, and is it still okay if you're using it with 100% discount and you can get the source code, but it's not purely free software in the sort of Richard Stallman sense of the thing?
Yes. I signed up for PostHog.
What is PostHog other than the best website in the world ever?
So, I mean, that's why I found out about it, because someone linked it yesterday, and I was kind of like, oh, actually, that looks... So PostHog is a thing that shows you what people are clicking in. I think it's more designed for web apps than websites.
Yeah.
So it's not like a Google Analytics. It's what pages are people navigating to on your site, but also what buttons are they clicking, what functionality are they using in your web app. And so, yes, and we have a React app at the core of our mobile application, and it looks like it will actually just drop into there quite easily on the JavaScript side and not use any kind of CPU at all. So I'm going to drop it in and see what it does.
The other thing that
But yes, according to their...
Sorry? It's something you can't do on Tumblr anymore.
Yes. According to their blurb, their generous free tier is enough for 98% of their users.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, I don't know what scale you're operating at and how many users is 2% of your users, but that seems like a very weird ratio. But actually, I suspect that for a lot of the these open source projects where they're kind of like going, hey, look, if you're turning over more than 5 million a year, please chuck us 0.01% of that. And yeah, that's probably enough for a sort of a small band of engineers to make a living, even though 90-something% of your users are getting the 100% discount.
I mean, there's one that I was reading up on earlier today. So Google have been using AI tools to analyze open source code bases, looking for vulnerabilities and report bugs. And
FFmpeg.
Yeah, Google found a bug in FFmpeg that there is a frame buffer overrun in the thing that decodes the first 20 frames of the full motion video file that is the introduction to the game Rebel Assault 2 by Lucasfilm. LucasArts from the 1990s. And so Google's bot files an issue on the FFmpeg issue tracker saying there's a security vulnerability in this, you need to fix it. And this has sort of got to this whole thing of FFmpeg. FFmpeg is one of the best and most important pieces of software in the world. None of you would be watching this without FFmpeg, because I would bet money and body parts that StreamYard just downloaded it and are using it in all their stuff and have never contributed a penny back to the maintenance of it, because that's what everybody does. That's what YouTube does. It's what Twitter does. It's what StreamYard does. It's what Amazon Prime Video does. There's an issue a couple of years ago. Microsoft Teams was filing high priority tickets on the FFmpeg issue tracker saying, you need to fix this because Microsoft Teams live events aren't captioning properly. And I'm like, you don't. You need to fix dick. If Microsoft Teams want live captioning, they've got people. They should build that, or they should pay for support, or they should do whatever. And it's got to the point where and the interesting kind of one interesting question to me in all this is, well, great, if the AI can find the bugs, why doesn't the AI fix the bugs? Yeah, if it's that good and so amazing, and it's the future of everything, and we don't need developers anymore. And but apparently
And-
that's yeah.
And FFmpeg has a weird license as well because it's LGPL version 2.1,
Yeah,
which is not MIT.
it's
or
the one
Apache.
that says you can incorporate. So somebody in the chat is going to jump in and go, actually, but I think the way this works, the LGPL is the one that says you're allowed to put our binary in your distributed software without publishing your own source, as long as you don't modify it.
Yes.
And so if you're just using the FFmpeg DLLs, then you can put that in your game and then sell your game without having to publish the source code to your game. If all you're doing is linking against it, you're not actually modifying or like you couldn't publish a video encoding system that was built using their source code, but if you're just using their binary to decode videos, that's fine.
Because there is a whole thing where it's like it's not included in Linux.
Yep.
Because it's not fully GPL compliant, or something, and so and then you get those kind of. I think Ubuntu do the thing where there's the kind of Ubuntu thing, and then there's the Ubuntu by downloading and using this installer. I acknowledge that I've got a bunch of stuff that isn't technically.
There's one, I think it's Audacity. If you want to export MP3 files, there's literally a screen in there that says, if you click this button, we'll download this thing from this URL and put it in this folder, and then it'll work. But we couldn't just make that happen because you need to do it. So, but no, it's interesting. There's a lot of kind of movement going on around this in all sorts of ways. And yes, I just made a video about it, which is up on YouTube now. And I'm sure it's something I will keep coming back to again and again and again, because it would be nice to think that the next generation of people who create good software can get paid for it. But
yeah, I need a polarized filter on my camera, apparently, according to the Jeffable. Rendell's glasses reflecting their screen just made me try something. A polarized filter prevents that if it's at the correct angle. Security glasses. Yeah, I mean, all you can see on the screen is what I can see of StreamYard at the moment.
Yeah, but if you hold your head at just the right angle, we'll be able to see an infinity of reflection going all the way back.
Rendell.
Yeah.
Hang on there. There we go.
We get that.
It's also really it's really interesting to look at the visual artifacting, because we can see the reflection on the front and the back of your lenses, and because lenses have a compound radius, the reflection from one of them is a very different size to the other. So
I can just turn my nose up and then nobody can see the reflection. There we go. So yes.
Well, I can do this to balance you out.
I saw a movie trailer this morning, and now I really want to see the movie, and it's not out until February, but it's probably around my birthday.
You can't say that and not have it off the tip of the tongue.
Be good. No, is it? Be good, have fun, don't die.
Solid advice.
okay.
It's got Sam Thingy in it. Rockwell. As a man who comes from an apocalyptic future, and it just looks brilliant, and it's by the guy who made some other films.
Most of them are.
Except some that aren't.
Some that
Pirates
aren't.
of the Caribbean.
Who made the original Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes.
And it looks absolutely unhinged. It's like Sam Rockwell just appears in a diner, dressed in kind of like covered in electronic components and looking like he's come from the worst apocalypse ever.
So Sally has just. Sorry, go on.
Yes, no, it looks completely brilliant, and the trailer is now on YouTube. So if you like kind of weird, unhinged stuff, it looks a bit sort of in the same vein as Everything Everywhere All at Once and that kind of thing.
I did not get on with that movie. It was too
weird.
I tried. Yeah.
I mean, I think this might be less weird than that, but I don't know.
It's something that I increasingly find with just about any form of media, like, books and movies now, is it gets to a point where I'm like, do I care anymore whether any of these characters live or die? And if I find myself getting to the point where I ask the question, it's probably at that point I'm like, nah, bored now.
That's why I gave up on The Walking Dead. I was just like,
Yeah.
every single character I care about gets an unsatisfying death. Why am I doing this to myself?
It's not even about an unsatisfying death.
Yeah.
It's just
hard
about
to get to that stage of fatigue with a film, though, just because of the short runtime.
Yeah, I don't know. My attention span is declining dramatically. But no, there's definitely a point where, like, I was channel surfing the other night, and I found a James Bond movie that I had never seen, and I was like, "Oh, it was on Prime, and it's got like 20 days left before it goes off Prime, and presumably then pops up somewhere else." Spectre, and I was like, "Oh, Bond film," and I put it on. I was like, "Oh," and I started watching it, and I was like, "Oh, it's quite good. Oh, look, a cartoon," and it kind of got to a point where I'm like, "Well, he's obviously going to save the world, so."
Yeah. I saw that in the cinema, and I remember nothing of it. Nothing about the film itself. I do remember that I got out of the cinema and then asked someone out on a date and they turned me down. But I'm now married to them, so thank you, Spectre, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah.
But no, so because that's Daniel Craig. I don't know if it is going to pop up somewhere else because Amazon technically own the James Bond movies now, because I think they're MGM and Amazon own MGM, but it's a separate subscription to try and get you to pay more or something. So I think they're going back off Prime, but they'll still be on MGM, which is inside Amazon Prime, but as a separate subscription.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to drop off and rejoin briefly, because I'm getting about 1 frame per second on my own video, and it's giving me conniptions. I'll be right back.
Okay. But yes, it's the third movie in the Daniel Craig series.
So it's Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Spectre,
Skyfall, and No Time to Die.
Oh, okay. I stopped paying attention by that point.
You'll never guess what he does at the end of No Time to Die.
Yeah. Oh,
spoilers.
Brilliant. Thinking of media, I started listening last night per Randall's recommendation to There Is No Anti-Memetics Division.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. Which, like, I have long been a fan of the SCP archives and that kind of sort of absurdist cosmic horror type of thing. And so far I'm only like, half an hour into it of the 8.5 hour, nearly 9 hour runtime. But really, really enjoying it so far. Very excited to enter my audiobook era, because I have not historically been an audiobook person, and I think it's just something about attention spans and what I naturally gravitate towards. But I could really get into audiobooks and knitting. It seems like
So if you are not familiar with SCP, we've moved on from things and we are now talking about the
other things.
There Is No Anti-Memetics Division book.
Yes.
That came out on Audible yesterday.
Yes.
And I'm just about to explain to the lovely people at home, or wherever they are, mowing the lawn, walking the dog, what SCP actually is. If you are not familiar, it actually stands for
Secure, Contain,
Protect. But it is
so
a wiki.
My shit. I love it.
And it is it's a work of collaborative fiction by like hundreds, if not thousands, of authors who build this wiki together.
Is this the thing that's like SCP-497?
Yes.
Is like a glowing uranium tooth that was discovered in a ruined helicopter and then something or other, and
and they have different classifications. There's because I was just browsing through some of them the other day. There's SCP-8845, which is a bridge in Korea with the floating corpses of and it's got an edit where it's gone from 13 to 14 corpses of people who tried to jump off the bridge because they were sad, and it just freezes them in space.
I like the one, I think it's 3000, which is the giant underwater eel that makes you forget things. I love that. But
Quantum, as in QNTM, who wrote the book, is one of the most prolific of the authors on the wiki. And the anti-memetics thing in particular is, if you know Doctor Who, there was a group of baddies in Doctor Who called the Silence, who were terrifying when you looked at them, but as literally the second you looked away, you forgot they were there. And so, yeah, they were sort of terrifying. And so the anti-memetics division, an anti-meme is obviously the opposite of a meme. And a meme is a piece of information that you can't get out of your head. And an anti-meme is a piece of information that you can't keep in your head. And so the anti-memetics division deals specifically with those anomalies that you can't remember. And they've got a containment unit, U 00 0055, yeah. And they know there's something in there, but they don't know what it is. They don't know why the containment unit for it is 5 meters by 5 meters by 2.5 meters. If you are looking at the thing, or looking at a photo of the thing, you can draw it, you can sketch it. But even if you look at the sketch and then look away, you won't be able to remember what's in the sketch. And yeah, it's just...
Yeah,
it's one
SCP
of the
archives have
most...
been going forever. And Steve's just said that the SCP archive was started in 2008. It's some of the best of sort of creepypasta energy, like, you know, that creative impulse. The best of that is in SCP archives, I think.
Yes.
The same sort of collaborative horror writing that gave us the original Slenderman thread, for example.
Yes. Yeah, the kind of copy pasta samizdat thing. We appear to have an actual person who writes for it. In the chat, Kieran is saying the markup system for custom formatting on that wiki is so horrible that I had to make my own syntax highlighting for it. So when I write stuff for it, my editor is Playcharm.
That's wild, because there's so much that's done with formatting as part of the, you know, medium for that piece of for the SCP archives. That's wild.
I'm just reading about SCP-0055, not 0055. If you Google SCP-0055, you find different things.
Well, it's sort of it's not actually the SCP archives in There Is No Anti-Memetics Division, right? Like it's obviously very, very similar, but it's not the same classification system.
Yeah,
I think. But I'm only like a little bit into it, and I have not read the book. So, but
Well,
yeah, I've been enjoying that immensely.
I have a couple of Audible credits to get through, so I shall be checking that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's very well read as well.
I'm enjoying the.
So yeah, no, SCP-055 on the Anti-Memetics Division hub. But just diving into the SCP wiki and reading through the introductory stuff, and
just start anywhere and just
you've got all the different.
It's like TV tropes. You'll end up with 50,000 tabs open, and it's 4 a.m.
Give it
love
dedicate
stuff.
an entire sort of browser to it, like one of the Firefox variants or something, and just don't use that browser for anything else. Because it's totally worth it. But yes, 055 on the SCP wiki is actually the subject of the book. It's
Nice.
just, it got to a point where it was kind of like, I'm turning this into a goddamn book. I put so much effort into this. And thank you, Kieran. I have actually now got 5243 open in a tab, so I'll be reading that. But yes, and so if you hadn't heard of SCP before listening to this episode, then you're welcome. I'm sorry.
Have fun.
Have fun, be good, don't die.
I did see several websites over the years that have a link to TV tropes with a thing after it. Warning, contains a link to TV tropes.
I have gone down that rabbit hole so many. I think the first time I came across TV tropes was because I had to work out what Mary Sue meant. And then I was kind of like, oh yeah, sorry, I wasn't in work last week. I was on a website.
I think I went through that as a teenager, so I got away with, just dropping out of life for a bit while I absorbed all of TV tropes. And now I
Yes.
don't get caught down the rabbit hole quite so much because I've been down them all already.
Yeah.
It's more like I'll watch a piece of media and then I'll go to the TV tropes to find out what people's takes on it were, or like little tidbits that I missed. Or
So the best page on TV tropes is the page called "We Didn't Start the Billy Joel Parodies," which is a list of all of the Billy Joel parodies in the style of a parody of "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Yeah, I love the self-demonstrating trope articles.
Yes,
they're just so good. It's these things of sort of just collaborative human creativity for no money, for no clout, even really, just for the sheer love of the game that I adore.
Billy Joel
just like
going strong. It was 1989 and the song was doing fine. Many copies of itself, but stuff about the past they tell.
New house rule: we are not allowed to open TV tropes while recording a podcast.
Yes, no.
I'm just on the laptop right now, so I can't. Like I could be
radio silence.
Yeah, exactly. We know how much podcasts are enhanced by dead air, right?
Here is a good rule for websites that you're not allowed to open while you're doing a podcast. Is because this is a TV tropes has got one of these buttons. Penny Arcade has one of these buttons. Where there's a button that I think XKCD does as well. Random. Yes. Where they've got so many pages because they have been publishing like 3 times a week for such a long time, and there's no particular reason to go there. You don't sort of like go, and so it's just kind of like pick a random one, pick a random one, pick a random one. Bash.org, which seems to have gone offline, or rather just has a white screen on my browser. But Bash.org was it was kind of like the best of IRC. And people used to copy and paste things that they really liked from IRC. And my favourite thing ever on Bash.org was it was a message all from one person, or just a series of messages from one person. There's a dude next to me watching me type and it's creeping me out. And then the next message was, yes, dude next to me, I mean you. And I may actually have stolen that in the course of text messages when I was sort of vaguely aware that the person next to me was watching what I was typing. Public transport.
Yeah. I had someone on a bus once watch me put the passcode into my phone, laugh at it, and then tweet it. And I know who it was because I searched Twitter for my phone's passcode, and I found them because it was the only occurrence of that. The passcode in question had a certain amount of comedy value. I'm not going to tell you what it was because it's incredibly rude. But it turned out that I'd come up with a combination of alphanumerics and profanity that,
Brilliant.
So I saw a thing that was fun that I made a note to myself in Signal, because that's the thing you can do. You can message yourself, which actually,
you know what this is.
I have that on Facebook. I have a message to myself.
This is my actual will not get lost, will not get overwritten, will not get context switched.
Right. I don't have that I can not lose. Give me that, and it's already misplaced.
There's a pole vaulter.
Yes.
Called Armand Duplantis.
Yes.
And he breaks the pole vault world record. I think he's Ukrainian.
I think I've heard of it.
Every time he is in a competition, he breaks the world record. He wins. He always wins.
Doesn't he have like the world record for the number of times he's broken the world record or something?
He now has the world record for the most times he's broken the world record, because depending on the size of the competition, there are like $100,000 prizes, like bonuses, if you break the world record. And so every time he goes to a competition, he goes, no, just put it up by a centimetre. And then he breaks the world record by a centimetre and then deliberately crashes into the pole on the next go so that he gets the $100,000 bonus. But if you look at the shots where he's clearing it to break the world record, he's clearing it by a foot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got another $3 million in him.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I hate the player, I hate the game. You know, that's I love that.
Absolutely.
What was the Discworld novel? The one about films, the Hollywood one.
Making movies.
Making movies. There's a character.
No, moving pictures.
moving pictures. Victor Tugelbend, who has an elderly relative who will pay for him all his expenses as long as he's studying. And so he's got this thing, if he gets more than 80% on his exams, he will pass and graduate and have to get a job. And if he gets less than 75, he will fail and get thrown out. And so he's actually the most gifted student in the history of the Unseen University, because he gets 78% on all of his exams every year.
Every single time, yes. Yeah.
That reminds me of the card game that I've played with my family called Nominations, where you have a certain number of players, let's say 4, and you deal, for 13 cards each. And you go around in starting, like you pick one person to be the person who starts, and you have to nominate how many tricks per bridge rules you're going to make, and the total cannot add up to the total number of cards that have been dealt. So somebody has to lose. And let's say you've got an absolutely garbage hand, you might want to make no tricks, but you get a 10-point bonus if you make exactly your number of tricks. Otherwise, you get the points of the number of tricks that you made. So you find yourself in situations where you're like, I want to make this many tricks and no more, and you can't all succeed. And then on the next hand, you only deal out 12 cards per person. So suddenly you're not playing with a full deck, and there's an element of chance and so on and so forth. And deliberately losing is absolutely a skill.
Yeah.
We used to play, my friends and I used to go 10-pin bowling almost every Wednesday, because there was a bowling alley down the road from our sixth form college. And we got to the point where, we weren't good, but we were better than randoms. And we got a bit bored, so we decided one week we were going to put the bumpers out and we were going to play to lose. Because it is very, very hard to score 0 on a 10-pin bowling alley with the bumpers out down the sides. So we had people like
set the ball gently rolling, to roll along the bumper very slowly until it gets to the end, like gently.
If the ball stopped, then one of the lane people had to come and rescue it, and that was embarrassing. So you had to.
But there is still skill there. You got to set it up like putting the baby Moses in the basket down the river, like just gently.
Yes, just enough that it'll go to the end and then go clop, and without hitting anything. But it's very meditative. So
mindful, even. You could make money off of shilling that as a
mindful bowling.
Yeah. Mindful bowling.
Because the place that I think of when I think of mindfulness is the Hollywood Bowl in Brislington, Bristol.
And then if you really just want to go apeshit, you've got lots of heavy objects around you that you can just throw around.
Do you know, I'd completely forgotten the whole Moses basket thing.
I know the reference mainly from Prince of Egypt, which was an absolute banger of a movie.
Yes.
That and Shrek being made at the same time, where if you were bad and naughty at Pixar at the time, was it Pixar? I forget. Whatever.
DreamWorks.
If you were bad and naughty, you got taken off the Prince of Egypt and sent to work on Shrek because they thought it was going to bomb. And so we've got two very different iconic movies.
Yeah.
It makes sense that Shrek was made by naughty people, though.
Yeah.
It definitely has that vibe about it.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah, I watch Prince of Egypt every year at Pesach. That's my cultural heritage, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd never thought about
it. And I also watch Shrek all the time because it's good.
We watched Shrek the other day, didn't we?
Yes, we did. So Randall and I have a friend locally here in Sheffield who is 2.5 years old, and we're also friends with her mum, obviously, as well. And so I've become acquainted with kiddie TV more recently, more than I ever thought I would be. I have opinions about Baby Shark now, but we are going to introduce her to Shrek and like good media. Going to get her on Bluey.
Yes, Bluey. Just I had not been aware until meeting this child that Baby Shark was anything more than a really annoying song on YouTube.
It's a whole world.
But it turns out that it's just a clip of an episode of something called Bebe Thin.
Yeah. Real Baby Shark heads know.
And and it's on Netflix, and it is just absolutely mind.
Yep.
Yeah. So yes, what else has been going on?
PopConf.
PopConf.
PopConf. It's happening.
London.
We have paid the deposit. It will be the Friday straight after NDC London, which is January the 30th, I think. It's at the Slaughtered Lamb in Clerkenwell, which some folks may recognize as it's opposite where Skills Matter used to be about 10 years ago, back when we had the first Prognet exchange and the first F# exchange, and back when those sorts of things were happening. And I can think of at least 4 startups and 2 long-term relationships that started in that pub after an event at Skills Matter across the street. Yes, it's in Great Sutton Street, and it's got a downstairs venue which will take about 100 people with a PA and a screen, and I'm going to go and check it out and make sure all the things work and everything. And yes, so it's going to be PubConf and Linebreakers doing like a big old NDC London after party, and it's going to be a blast. And all I need to do now is figure out how we're going to do the PubConfy thing, because I have ideas for formats. Oh yeah.
Well, if you need deranged chaos goblins to participate, you know where to find us.
So what I'm trying to do is to come up with something that is not just the same people doing the same thing, but with a slightly different theme. Because we've sort of done that quite a lot, and we're getting to the point where the sort of themes are thin on the ground.
Yeah.
And so one idea that I had, which I thought, I might as well run it past you here and now, rather than which I'm going to run past you later, and then we could pretend that we did that. Would be a musical round where people who want to, because people send me lyrics all the time. They're like, "You should do this song in your band," and I'm like, "How about you do that song at PubConf? Like you write the words to the song, and we will provide a backing track for you." Which will be video playback, because we're not going to learn all of the songs, because that's where chaos lies. And and so I'm thinking, and the other thing that I have been seriously wondering about is something along the lines of Whose Line Is It Anyway, where it's collaborative improv.
Yes.
Because we've done lots of the PowerPoint karaoke type improv where it's just you and a slide deck, and the live voting thing that we did in Copenhagen kind of made it more interesting, but it's very much like you need to build a completely fresh set of images every time you use it, because any repetition immediately just, oh no, we already made a joke about that one, it doesn't work. And so I was thinking whether there's some format where you could get 3 or 4 people on the stage at the same time. And
you could get somebody doing a talk, and then like everybody else is having to physically create like a tableau of the slides.
Ooh, I think there's also mileage in like somebody giving color commentary of like, and see that they've brought out the pointer at this, this a classic redirect.
Oh
yeah.
Or the that thing that Obama did with
Key. Michael Key.
The anger interpreter.
The anger
I was just thinking Obama's anger interpreter.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've had an idea that's to discuss off stream.
Anyway,
there's a
great
I'm YouTube thing where it's like it's an animated thing, but it's this mushroom and a bird having a conversation in these things quite a lot of the time. But there's one where there's the HR speak translator fish. That's kind of like, so I've asked you here to, because we need to have an unpleasant conversation. You're being fired. So yes, your performance has not been what we were looking for. We've over budgeted and we can't afford to pay you. So yes.
Anyway, yes, that's going to happen.
But no, cool.
So that's fun.
PubConf and Linebreakers.
Yes.
And
in
Linebreakers in
sweaty
Vilnius.
Bar where you stick to the floor. Linebreakers in Vilnius. Apparently.
Tomorrow?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, 3 weeks tomorrow.
I'll be there.
We've got a guy in Vilnius who's lovely, who we met last year and who came over to London this year, who is absolutely on top of everything, but is doing that slightly frustrating thing of not providing any detail because he's on top of everything. Right. Which means I'm like, I don't know where we're playing. I don't know how it. And I guess we're just going to show up and be like, hey, everyone, we're having a party. You should come.
Yes.
So, Because it's nice to think we should be promoting it, but I know how many followers Linebreakers has on social media, and none of them is in Lithuania, so it won't make any difference.
We should promote it at the
So-
conference. It's fine. Just in all of our talks. I say our talks. I'm not speaking. I'm just getting questions. I'm Rendell's +1 for this one. Using up your free speaker ticket.
Free speaker ticket.
So, yes, I'm looking forward to that. It should be fun.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, no, it will. We have like new songs and everything. Well,
We do.
newish.
Oh, I've got so many ideas for new songs at the moment. Just
I love
ping,
the-
ping,
the-
ping, 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 ping,
The
ping.
grief with which you're saying that, you're
Well-
weighed down by it.
It means a bunch of stuff that is more fun to do than fee-earning work, which is always bad. But-
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We need to get sponsorship. We need an AI company to just give us like $100 million to, But of course they won't, because we make music by hand using humans, like animals.
Yeah, just like the dark ages.
Yeah.
It's basically
Artisanal nonsense.
hardcore at this point.
I mean, stretching bits of metal over a bit of wood and hitting it with a plastic thing. How
Like a caveman.
barbaric.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not even like a caveman, like a man who hasn't found a cave yet, and he's just wandering around the savannah, bashing things with a stick.
Did I see Rick Beato had a video? Hang on, about an AI generated song was actually at number
Yeah, I saw the
number one
thumbnail
on the
for that.
Billboard charts.
Yeah.
Every day we
Yes.
straight further from God's light.
I mean, it's nice
Good
to know that
God.
as human beings, we've taken music and turned it into a giant pile of shit and flushed ourselves down it. That's a nice thought.
Everything is slop now. The
Yes.
whole AI going to be integrated into the next version of Windows or whatever, and I saw someone call that sloperating system, and I enjoyed that immensely.
I love that. That's very good.
Yeah. I want Windows 2000 back. That was nice.
I want XP. I miss XP. That was like the Windows of my childhood. I know I'm going to cause you
I
psychic damage by
want-
saying that, but
I want the Windows 7 UI with the Mac kernel, but the whole thing's open source like Linux.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect operating system for me.
Just
Because,
BIOS. BIOS would be fine.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Or yeah. But yes, I don't
Actually, you know
particularly
what?
get on with Mac's GUI, but having POSIX underneath it is very nice.
I might just start using PostHog's website as my day-to-day operating system because it looks pretty comprehensively featured and it's nice, clean aesthetics. And
I lost half an hour looking around their trash.
no, the thing I lost time to today was Cell Tower. That
haven't even-
Dylan posted in one of our chats.
yes,
God.
Because I have touchscreen on my laptop, I've just been sitting there doing that for half an hour.
Celtal's
it's-
wonderful.
Yes.
It's I will do this one every day. I have no desire to go back and complete the archive, but I do that every day, and it's most days it takes about 2 minutes.
Completed the archive already. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yes, Kieran, my people. Kieran says that they like one and they can identify exactly which Tumblr post I'm referencing. Yes.
What is they're made of meat.mpeg?
do you not know they're made of meat?
No.
It's a classic
bell.
science fiction short story about the gist is that there is this sort of pan-galactic sort of federation of intelligent
right.
entities, all of whom are cybernetic,
Right, yeah.
and they discover Earth, and they're like, but what you mean that they have no, they're made of meat.
Yes.
The life forms are made of meat. The meat has learned to make radio waves, but they're made of meat. And they're like, no, we can't possibly make contact with this civilization. It'll freak people out. It'll be too weird.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
that's the thing I
It
saw
just
the
reminds
other
me of
day. Was
Floods and
kind of
Swan,
oh, you're
Yeah.
irrational. You're a bag of water giving itself electric shocks. Of course, you're fucking irrational.
No, the reluctant cannibal. If the great God hadn't meant us to eat people, he would have
Oh,
made us eat.
Flanders and Swan.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. We picked several from different parts of the planet, took them aboard our vessels, probed them all the way through. They're completely meat. That's impossible. What about the radio signals, the messages to the stars? They use the radio waves to talk, but the signals don't come from them. The signals come from the machines. So who made the machines? That's who we want to contact. They made the machines. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Meat made the machines. That's ridiculous. How can meat make a machine? You're asking me to believe in sentient meat.
Oh, love it. I love it. I do have a theory that organic life is just the larval stage for
Boltzmann brains or something.
mechanical life.
Yeah.
And it's just the easiest way to seed the universe with more life is to fire fragments of DNA or RNA or whatever off in all directions, and if it hits a planet with an M-class atmosphere. Are they actually called that, or is that a Star Trek thing? Or is it a Star Trek thing that became real?
You have just reminded me of one of my favourite tidbits so far from There Is No Anti-Memetics Division, which is that one of the anomalies that they have is just an asteroid that orbits the sun, and we see it we've seen it once ever, but it's got Kilroy was here written on it.
Yes, it's like Russell's teapot.
Russell's teapot.
So Bertrand Russell, in a debate about whether God exists or not, and someone said you can't prove God doesn't exist, and Bertrand Russell said you can't prove that there's not a teapot following exactly the same orbit as Earth, but diametrically opposite on the other side of the sun. You can't prove that it's not.
It would have to have the same mass, wouldn't it? Not that that's a blocker. To be clear,
it would be like an Earth-sized, Earth-mass teapot, traveling at the same speed. But yeah, you can't prove that it's not there.
It wouldn't have to be Earth-sized. It would have to be Earth-mass.
That's what I said.
Size is irrelevant for the orbital mechanics.
Yes.
So
yes. What is it? There's the stuff that neutron stars are made of, and a cup of it would weigh as much as Earth.
Yeah.
But it could be one of those.
A teapot made of neutron star material.
But there couldn't actually be, because we've got all kinds of things flying around in space, and if there was an Earth mass immediately opposite the other side of the sun, it would mess up with orbital maneuvering mechanics and grand tours of the solar system and things of that nature. So in your face, Bertrand Russell, there is a teapot.
NASA are doing a weird thing. So two weird things actually about space. Yes, but so they're launching their latest mission to Mars, which is called Escapade, which is supposed to be looking how the sun's solar radiation interacts with what very little atmosphere there is on Mars, which would be quite helpful about when it comes to building habitats and stuff. But this Escapade mission, they're only like tiny little things, and they only cost $80 million. The whole mission has only cost $80 million. And so they're kind of like, fine, let Jeff Bezos launch it on the New Glenn on its second flight. And so it was supposed to launch at the end of last year, but the rocket wasn't ready. And so they did the first test launch of the rocket in January of this year, and it worked, but it's supposed to land like the Falcon and everything, and it kind of went crunch and landed and exploded. But it got up there okay. Everything sort of pushing things up into space went okay. And so NASA have basically gone, fine, it's only $80 million for this thing. So if you'll launch it for $20 million, then we'll let you launch our Mars mission. But you can only launch to Mars every 20 months, I think it is, because that's when when we get to the point where if we launch something and fire it at that point in space, which is currently very close to us, that's where Mars will be in like 9 months or whatever.
Yes.
By the time it gets there,
So obviously we're like, this isn't that. We're almost exactly halfway through that period, and Mars is right over the other side of the sun.
But we could see if there's a teapot orbiting opposite Mars.
That's the thing. No, but because Blue Origin want to get on and launch the rocket and do the test and all this sort of stuff, and NASA have basically gone, you know what, 26 months. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen in the chat correcting my space. But yeah, they've basically gone, all right, fine, we can just launch them, and then they go into a loiter orbit around Earth until we are in the right position. But they can build up speed or something while they're going around Earth and the moon. So yeah, they're launching
So we've
completely
got
out
more
of thing
stuff
and using.
orbiting. Okay.
But I mean, it's going to be orbiting at a much larger distance.
Higher, yeah, further
Yeah,
away and
much
faster.
higher
Yeah.
up than other stuff.
It would probably be geostationary, yeah.
But yes, and then once everything is right, it'll just go right. I'm off. I'll see you later. Which
So,
is mad. And then
before
they
we-
had to delay
yes.
the launch, which was supposed to happen on Sunday, I think, because of an explosion. Ars Technica put this beautifully. An explosion 92 million miles away.
Nice.
So there was a coronal mass ejection on the sun, and NASA were like, "Oh, we're having to delay the launch because of space weather, because space has weather." And so
That's a good bad name.
yeah,
Space
Space
has weather, or just space
Oh
weather.
yes.
There was a fantastic talk I saw at ERDEV by someone called Abby Hutty, who is a system engineer for iSpace and used to work for Airbus, about designing and building space rovers. And she and her team built a thing called ExoMars, which was going to be the first rover that was going to, first European rover mission to land on Mars, which they built, and they had it all ready to go, and all they had to do was send it to Kazakhstan to get launched into space. And then Russia started a war, and they couldn't send it to Kazakhstan because it was embargoed technology. And so now the rover that they spent 10 years building is set in a warehouse somewhere waiting for someone
Flashbacks to when I was
find a
obsessed with Civ
rocket.
5. Honestly, you're about to get the science victory.
Yeah.
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 And I kind of felt that. Like, imagine that.
How
She had a lovely
frustrating.
slide at the beginning. She said, space is hard. And then a little footnote pops up. International geopolitics is harder.
Yes. Yeah.
This is one of the things I'm thinking about when, Randall, you were talking about, like, oh, how much it costs to, like, build a habitat and, like, things that we we're going to need on Mars. It's like, when you start thinking about, oh, terraforming or whatever, we've got a planet right here that's, like, basically perfect. We've just got to stop fucking it up.
Yes, if we could, I
yeah.
mean, but you know, when you talk about terraforming, you're sort of like going, okay, so we need to oxygen enrich the atmosphere and make it breathable and restart the core spinning and stuff. And you're kind of like, if you can terraform a cold red rock millions of miles away, you can terraform Earth back to the way it's supposed to be.
I mean,
or even like supposed to, like, you know, back to something that's going to be more sustainable for the ecosystems we currently have.
Yeah.
I am sort of vaguely and distantly sympathetic to the idea that if humankind is going to become, eternal, then we need to get off Earth, because something could happen to Earth that would be a bit of a problem if it was the only planet we had. But other than that, 100%, if you can make Mars inhabitable, why don't you start by making Earth inhabitable, you bastards?
And, you know, if you're worried about sort of an asteroid hitting the Earth, then we should be building Millennium Falcons.
Yes.
So we can go up there and blow them up.
Yes.
And that's the job once, the internet goes away or AIs take all our jobs.
Yes.
So we go and do that instead.
Yes.
That
Definitely.
seems like a nice note to end on. Thank you for tuning in, folks. It's been fun. Thank you, chat, for the comments. Not blow them up, harvest them. No, that's not Millennium Falcons. That's Elite. That's the Cobra Mark III. You got to use your mining laser to blow up the asteroid and then catch it in your fuel scoops.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but also
I love that game. I love that game so much. Thank you for tuning in, folks. You all have a good week out there, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.